Yo, what up everybody, it's your boy the Kryptonian saying here, bringing you another Boruto discussion. Today, I want to talk about Orochimaru's connection to Kawaki and Jigen, and I am going to give a warning for the anime-only viewers. I am going to be treading into some really heavy spoilers in the latest Boruto chapter, so given the fact that the Boruto manga is a year ahead, I highly recommend checking out something else on the channel in the Naruto Explained playlist, or the Boruto Discussion playlist, or the Naruto What If playlist, which I'm hard at work on the What If Haku Never Died video, so stay tuned for that. But if you don't want spoilers, please click off this video because I don't want to ruin the experience for anybody. So with that being said, I'm assuming that if you're still here at say 50 seconds into the video, you're okay with the spoilers. So as we all know, in the Boruto manga, we're currently 16 years since the events of the 4th Great Ninja War, which means that we're about a year removed from the events of the Momoshiki arc. And in the latest manga chapter, it gets revealed that Kawaki is a artificial human. Basically, he's a human being who has had mechanical enhancements, so basically he's a cyborg. And in this chapter, there's something that gets said that makes me wonder whether or not Orochimaru has a connection to Kawaki and Jigen and the Kara organization, and that's the fact that in this chapter we find out that Mitsuki is telling Boruto and Sarada for the very first time that he's a synthetic human, basically that he is a clone of Orochimaru, and that's the reason why he calls Orochimaru his parent. And we find out that Katasuke has actually been speaking with the 7th Hokage, and he knows all about the fact that Mitsuki is basically an Orochimaru clone, and he says that Kawaki is a bit different because Kawaki in himself is basically a scientific ninja tool. He's basically been, his body's been altered so much, presumably by Jigen, so much that even his blood cells have been scientifically enhanced. And the reason why I got to thinking about connection between Orochimaru and Kawaki and Jigen isn't like one of the theories that floats out there that Orochimaru is secretly working behind the 7th Hokage's back and he's working with the Kara organization. I don't think that's going to happen. That is out of character for who Orochimaru is now. He's established the Sound Village as being a legit village now, so I don't see why he would do something like that. But what I did think about is the fact that Kawaki, as you know from the chapter, Kawaki, even fatigued, is able to eviscerate the upper portion of one of the Kara members' bodies. And the fact that Kawaki is a scientifically engineered human being, he has all these mechanical enhancements. Orochimaru has that alliance with the Hidden Leaf Village, and his son is directly involved in this mission. And given the fact that Kawaki is something that goes beyond the scope of somebody like Katasuke, this is where you would bring Orochimaru formally into the Boruto manga. For those of you who don't know, that manga chapter that had Orochimaru seeing Mitsuki go Sage Mode, that was actually drawn by Kishimoto, and that was actually something that was used as promo to hype up the, I believe, the Boruto movie before that was coming out. So that's not exactly the case here. Orochimaru has not popped up in the Boruto manga yet, and the fact that you would have something like this opens up the door for Orochimaru, because as we all know, when Orochimaru isn't playing hide the snake with Sasuke and whatever little boys he has in his lab, Orochimaru in himself is the original mad genius of the Naruto world. Orochimaru is the guy, I'll never forget this line, Orochimaru is the guy who tells the 3rd Hokage, hey, I just want to see what happens when you put red and green and blue and all these random colors together. I want to explore every jutsu in the world. And the fact that you have somebody like Kawaki who has been scientifically engineered to the point where his blood cells and vessels and just everything in his body has basically been turned into robotic, and yet he's flesh and blood. We see it in the way that he's bleeding in some of these manga panels. So Orochimaru would have a field day with Kawaki, but more importantly, Orochimaru might be the person who figures out just what the karma seal is. We know because what Jigen said, not Jigen, but Kashin Koji said that Kawaki and Boruto both have this resonance ability, and for the most part, it looks like this might be a carbon copy of Momoshiki's ability to repel and absorb ninjutsu, and if that's the case, that's completely cool. But the fact that Orochimaru could perhaps look at Kawaki while he's unconscious and figure out the connection between these two. And with somebody like Sasuke there to overlook everything, they can start putting the pieces together. Because no disrespect to Katasuke, he's already had his redemption part in the Kara arc that took place before this, and the fact that you'll have a generational genius like Orochimaru and then another generational genius in Sasuke there to look over Kawaki's body, and given that Sasuke has been researching everything that happens to do with Kaguya's clan, and the fact that he's been aware of this mark on Boruto's hand for over a year, chances are Sasuke knows a thing or two about all this. The fact that you have the Kara organization, Sasuke's probably been looking into this because he's been looking into the underworld working and everything, so it would make a lot of sense if somebody like Sasuke kind of comes in and helps Orochimaru to figure out everything that's going on with Kawaki. And on the side note of that, it would be a little depressing to actually see somebody like Kawaki, who's been through so much already, being poked and prodded on again, maybe even put into the test tubes. But at the same time, this sets up a redemption arc for Orochimaru, because Orochimaru's character arc is not completely finished yet. He still needs one more thing, because when he got introduced as a villain, and now he has skin in the game when it comes to this new generation because his son's being involved. And so I think that this could be a good way to kind of have a tie-in with this whole thing that's going on with technology and science. And for those of you who don't know, Masashi Kishimoto is very, very heavily inspired by a lot of sci-fi and everything. And so the fact that you could have Orochimaru bring all this in here, this will be a nice way to tie all this up, because you could see the brilliance of Orochimaru versus the brilliance of Jigen, and that would be something in itself that kind of sets up what could be a showdown, because you have the original mad scientist going up against the current mad scientist in Jigen. And the reason I'm saying the current mad scientist is Jigen seems to know a lot about Kawaki. There might be someone else who kind of engineered Kawaki, but the fact that Jigen went to Kawaki's father and basically purchased him from Kawaki, or excuse me, purchased Kawaki from his father, it opens up the door that Jigen was the one who did all this to him. And that's why he's so vested in Kawaki being brought back, and the fact that he's the vessel of Kara. But those are my thoughts on this matter, guys. What do you think? Do you think that Orochimaru should have a role in figuring out what's going on with Kawaki, and perhaps have Orochimaru be set up to be the opposite of Jigen? Or do you think that that needs to be Katasuke? Do you disagree with me? Do you think that Katasuke's character arc is still ongoing and that he hasn't fully redeemed himself for allowing himself to be brainwashed and hit with the mind control when it comes to ninja tools? Do you agree with me on that, or do you disagree? I'm very interested to read your comments in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.